Today on Listen Up, it's the 10th anniversary of 9/11. We take a look at lessons being learned from the pain it caused and hopes for the future. Welcome to Listen Up. I'm Lorna Dewitt. Today, Listen Up remembers an anniversary that changed the world. When radical Islamists attacked America, a global war on terror was launched. It meant war in Afghanistan against the Taliban, a war that's still going on. From New York to Kabul to Canada, we'll remember how lives were affected. It's been 10 years since the terrorist attacks that have come to be known simply as 9/11. More than enough time to reflect and process the terrible events of that day, but not nearly enough time to heal.
We've put a face to all those numbers. It's a very powerful room. It speaks of the people that were lost that day. Jonathan, 29 years old, married, with 2 little boys, called me that morning to turn the TV on, and I saw what everybody saw. And he said, "Dad, we're going to the World Trade Center." And I said, "John, be careful." He said, "Okay, Dad." That was the last time I spoke to my son.
24 Canadians were also killed in the attacks.
Ken had just been promoted as financial marketing director for his company, and he went to Schmooze to network to introduce people to his new position. He was at Windows of the World. And in fact, Ken gave a call to our son Brennan and said, "I'm on top of the world. I'm on the 106th floor, Windows of the World. I'm on top in life." Ken was able to call his mother, and that's why I know exactly where he was, because he said, "Mom, I'm on the 106th floor and the room is full of smoke. I don't know how I'm going to get out. The roof is blocked." Then the phone went dead.
To honor Ken, Maureen regularly leaves her Toronto home to volunteer here at New York City's Tribute Center for 9/11.
I think because we all know that terrorism is not a past tense subject. I don't know what causes it, and I don't know what the cure is, but I do know that I never want another 9/11. My faith probably got stronger after 9/11. I truly believe that love is going to conquer evil here.
And so the education from Ground Zero continues.
It's one of the jets.
Oh, wow.
We're going to talk about some very difficult things. We don't sugarcoat here. You took a 110-story building, and there's 2 of them, and collapsed them into a pile that wound up being about 7 stories high. It was like a book closed, and everybody was in between the pages. So there are no bodies. You can't find bodies. North Tower, 1,365 people trapped or killed above impact. No way out. 1,365. South Tower, 595 trapped or killed. No way out. They had to come down with the building. The men and women that worked at this site, tens of thousands that worked here over 9 months, found 19,979 body parts. In the last 3 years, 2,100 have been found. In the last 9 weeks, an additional 72 have been found. And this is what terrorism did, continues to do, and will do again if we're not educating, and we're not educating.
And so the Tribute Center at Ground Zero exists for those painful stories.
And anything you're going to see in here, like my son's gear, it says something. It tells a story. It tells its own personal story. It took 3 months to find Jonathan. And we found Jonathan as a whole body. And there's only 174 whole bodies out of 2,749 people. This is done for the people that don't have a voice. It's done for you who we think need to understand what happened on 9/11 and not forget. Of course, we'll never forget, but we're in a very dangerous world.
I went into the lobby of Tower 1 where the fire command station was, and I saw my best friend Terry Hatton there. He was a captain in the fire department, captain of Rescue 1. He told me, "Timmy, come here," and I went over to him, and he wrapped his arms around me and said, "I love you, brother, I may never see you again." He whispered that in my ear, and he went in the stairwell, and I never saw him again. He was one of 93 of my friends that were murdered that day by radical Muslim terrorists in an attack on American freedom.
Tim Brown is leading a lawsuit to stop the mosque construction. It's a campaign that's personal, moral, and ideological.
When the second plane hit, I was ordered to go to the lobby of Tower 2 to manage that command post. I went with Chief Burns from the fire department, old salty Irish fire chief, who had seen it all, 40 years in the fire department, and I said, "Chief, what do you want? What do you need from me?" And he just looked at me with kind of a wry, all-knowing smile, and he said, "Timmy, there's nothing you and I can do here." He said, "Do your best." And he said to me, "You know we're at war, right?" And I said, "Yeah, Chief, I know." Because when that second plane hit, the whole world knew that America was under attack. America was truly at war with radical Islam. And we can't forget that. People want us to forget about that. We can't forget it.
When we return, how the war 9/11 began gave hope to Fawzia Kufi. Despite a barrage of death threats, she plans to run for Afghanistan's presidency.
I knew I cannot change it because I never was expecting the Taliban will be removed from Afghanistan. But when they were removed, that was the time I realized that I need to now do something to change.